Hello! Thank you for joining me for Friday with Friends. I have a few things we're going to make today. I have a fun fold card, and I have 3 treat boxes. Happy Halloween. They're Halloween treat boxes, but with a change of paper color and designer series paper. We could make anything with these. We could make Christmas or treat boxes for birthdays or anything else. So, and we also have a beautiful kit. It's called the Paper Bouquet Kit. And I promised Nancy that I would do a live showing how to make these flowers. They're really pretty. So I'm excited to show you the projects we have going. So we'll start with a treat box, and it's super easy. This one was on my newsletter with a tutorial a couple weeks ago. So we start with a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. Yes, this is 6x6, and then you're gonna fold it diagonally. So I'm gonna score it because I didn't bring a bone folder over to this desk. So we're gonna score it diagonally, and then we're gonna score it at 1 3/4 inch. So I'm gonna go this way because I'm gonna line this diagonal line, which you probably can't see, but I can see it. So I'm gonna line that up so I know that this is even. So go over one more. So on this side of the cutter, it only goes to 1.5 inches, and we need an extra 1/4. So this is about an extra 1/4 here, and then I lined my diagonal line up here. Also, I'll show you when I fold it. There's a couple ways. I was playing around with this. There's a couple ways you can make this box. It's so easy. It doesn't even need adhesive. So it's folded diagonally, and then this fold is 1 3/4 inches. So it goes down this way. If you bring this corner down to the fold line, it makes a wider box. It looks just the same. It's just a wider box, and it'll hold 3 candies instead of 2. So either way, it's super cute. And then these 2 sides, so there's the fold line here. So these ends fold in to line up here. Like this, and then this comes down, and it stays just like that. So this one there, for some reason, if you do it and this sticks out on one side, just switch it and then it won't. I don't know why that is, but there it is. Okay, so then we're gonna decorate it. So I have some dies, and I have a little eek, and I have a spider. Do you guys have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is the little baby boss. It folds up. I use this one more than the large one. So I need the large one for really, really big dies, and I need it for full-size embossing folders. Otherwise, I use the little one all the time. I like it because it fits so easily on my desk, and it's super lightweight. So, and I would say 90% of all of my dies fit in this machine. It's just those really big, like the full dies that make like a card front that won't fit, but pretty much all of them fit. This spider is so detailed. It's such a good die. Ooh. So how is everybody doing? What are you doing for Halloween? Are you passing out candy? Are you out trick-or-treating with your kids, your grandbabies? We're passing out candy, but we don't get many kids here. So I'm in a condo, and so, you know, the doors are close together. And when I first moved here, I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to get a ton of kids. So I went out and bought bags and bags and bags of candy, thinking that it would be such a good place for kids to trick or treat, because they could just, you know, like practically jump from one porch to the next. And I was shocked that that wasn't the case. We hardly get any. And I didn't really, and there's a lot of kids that live here, so I really didn't understand until I was here a couple of years, and I realized that Northville does this really huge thing downtown, and the kids get tons of candy, but they also have all kinds of different activities and stuff. And then if they go trick-or-treating to any houses, they're going to the houses that are really close to downtown. So even though we're not far from downtown, they go to the ones that they can just, you know, that just surround downtown area. So, yeah, not many kids. Sometimes we get really little ones whose parents are just taking them, you know, to a few homes. And then we get some teens, like, that come a little bit later. But that's it. We don't get many. Which is a bummer. I love watching the kids come in the costumes. And my grandkids are out trick-or-treating in their neighborhood. We have 4, and the littlest, he's 4 years old. He did not feel well. Yesterday he stayed home from school, and then I think he felt better today. But then the oldest today, she's 9, she was home from school, but I guess she felt a little better as the day wore on, so she was gonna try to go out and do a little trick-or-treating. So I hope she felt well enough. Their costumes were so adorable. Okay, I think that's everything we need. And then we're going to do just a little stamping. Okay, so these are our little pieces. And I'm just going to take the orange, and I'm going to use this stamp from the Halloween set and just put some stripes on here. At least it's not raining, right? And it's not super cold, so it's a good night for the kids. Okay. I'm going to get some Wink Stella and put a little shiny on our spider. It's a good spider, right? It's really detailed, creepy little thing. And then I'm going to pop this one up. And then I cut 2 of these just to make a little shadow on the back of the petunia pop. Ooh. I made a whole bunch of these for our little neighbors. We have a mom. She's young. She's only in her mid-30s, and she's a widow. So sad. And she had, when she moved here, her littlest was still in the baby carrier, and she had lost her husband that same year. So sad. So her kids, they're 7 and 5 and 3. So early this week, we made some chocolate chip cookies and some Rice Krispie treats. Wow, this glue is just coming out really fast. I took the lid off and I washed it because it was kind of gunky. I think I got some water in there. So we made Rice Krispie treats, chocolate chip cookies, and then I made a bunch of these little treat boxes to add to the little treat tray. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to see if I can see if there's any comments, but I don't see the video. My computer says I'm live, but I don't see it. Oh, wait, is this it? No. I'll keep checking. So if you're here, please leave a comment, and I'll keep checking to see if I can see the video live. Okay, so here we go. This one's done. And like I said, you could do this with Christmas paper or birthday paper, and it could be for whatever holiday you like. And then the candy fits inside. And here's another one with a different paper. So super cute, super easy. You can make a ton of these. Like if you were making them for a classroom or something, so fast and easy to make. So, okay, that's our first one. All right, let's see which one we're going to do now. Alright, this one is a little mini M&M box. So this one is 6 7/8. Oh, this paper's not big enough. Okay. Alright, 6 7/8 by 4 1/4. And then we are going to score it at 5/8 of an inch on the end. 5/8 of an inch on the bottom, and 5/8 of an inch on the opposite side. And then we're going to score at 3 1/8 and 3 3/4. Alright, so that is the box. And then I was going to do this in the Cajun Craze, but I didn't get out a piece of paper that was big enough to do it. Alright, so then we'll do the lid in the Cajun Craze. So the lid is 4 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then at the top and the bottom, we're going to score at 5/8. And then we're going to score at 1 3/4 and 2 3/8. Okay, so this is the lid, and we're gonna cut up on the top and the bottom. So I'm cutting right on the score line, and then I'm gonna make a little bit of extra space and make the tab. I'm gonna cut in just a little bit like that. So I'll do that on each side. I can't believe it's the end of October. My oldest daughter will be putting up her Christmas tree tomorrow. I'm not ready for it. Okay, so on the box, this little square here, I'm going to get rid of altogether. We don't need that one. And then we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut up to the score line and then cut in on the tab just a little bit, just to get rid of some of that bulk. And then this side, I'm going to cut up and in just a little bit on just the one side. Sorry about that. Okay, so that is the 2 pieces. And then we just score it. Or we just fold it on all the score lines. I'm going to turn my ringer off. Okay. I'm still looking to see if I can see the live video, but I don't. But if you're here, please leave messages, and I will get back to you after I get off. If you have any questions, or tell me what you're doing tonight. Tell me where you're watching from. So October has been an exciting Stampin' Up! Month. We had this amazing incentive for anybody who wanted to join. There's no obligation to do anything, but for $35 you get to choose $125 worth of product, and they throw in free shipping and a free paper pumpkin kit. So it's an awesome incentive to join. And I had 3 of my customers, 2 of them longtime customers, and 1 was a fairly new customer that found me online, and they all joined my team. So it was an exciting month. And next month starts tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's November. But November, we have, they're wanting us to sell kits. So Stampin' Up! Has been really, really stepping up their game with kits. So to see those, you have to look in the online store. They're not, I think I've seen a couple in the catalog just to kind of like show what they're like, but they come out with new kits every 3 months, and they have some really amazing kits to offer. They're a great price. They're all inclusive. Everything you need to make the projects is included in the kit. Even adhesive, everything is in there. And yeah, they're a great deal. And they want us to sell 10 kits in November, and if we do, we get from Stampin' Up, gifts from Stampin' Up, a package of exclusive DSP that they'll send us, no charge, and they're going to host a class for the demonstrators if we sell 10 kits in the month of November. So if you have been thinking about buying a kit, please do so in November. It would help me out, and I would appreciate that. Okay, so I just glued that together, and then do the same with this one. So what's everybody doing this weekend? Anybody have any fun plans? I have no plans this weekend. I'll probably catch up on a little bit of work. So my daughter, I told you guys my youngest daughter moved back home for a short time. and she's been sick. She's been sick for the last week, so she's been staying with a friend so she doesn't get us sick, which I'm thankful for. But because she's been sick and she hasn't been here, the last little bit of her stuff is in my living room still. So I'm anxious for her to feel better. So she feels better, but I'm anxious for her to feel better so she can get the rest of the stuff out. I think everything that she's left in my living room is things that she's giving away to friends. So she needs to be here to coordinate with her friends to come and get it. Okay, so here we have a box and a lid. And then I'm gonna cut some pieces to decorate. Let's see. Alright, so the front pieces are, the front and the back is 2 3/8. By 2 1/4. We need 2 of those. And then I don't have my little pieces here, so we need side pieces as well. So I'm going to cut those at 1/2 inch. I have all of my little cheat sheets here, but I have so many. They're all in a pile, so, but this is good. Alright, and then we need to decorate the top, so I think we'll do this one. And let's see, this is 7 inches by 1.5. So, how many people have started Christmas shopping? Oh, I know. There's usually like early shoppers, and there's people that wait till the last minute. I'm definitely an early shopper, but I don't know. I kind of buy throughout the year. If I see something, I buy it, but I haven't kept track of what I got. So I really need to get out my boxes of gifts and see what I have and for who and what else I need. It seems like Christmas just ended. I'm really not ready for it or looking forward to it, honestly. I'm sure as November gets moving, I'll probably feel in the mood, but I'm definitely not yet. My husband was listening to Christmas music yesterday. My granddaughter lost her 2 front teeth, her 2 top front teeth, and my daughter sent me a picture, and I said, "Are you putting up your Christmas tree next week?" And she did like a laughing emoji, like I was being silly, and she said, "No, not until the 1st." And I said, "Yeah, that's next week." And then she must have looked at her calendar, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it is next week." She thought I was joking. So I told her she needs to, as soon as she gets the tree up, even if it's not decorated yet, I need a picture of her in front of that tree. I want to make a scrapbook page, a little toothless scrapbook page. She's a cutie pie. She's the 6-year-old. So what are your kids and grandkids dressed up for tonight? Did they go to a party or did they go trick-or-treating? And what's their costumes? My grandson, my oldest grandson, he will be 8 in November. He is Star Wars Darth Vader. He bought this really amazing mask when they went to Disney this year. He saved up like birthday money and whatnot, and he bought this really, really nice mask. So he's Darth Vader, and then he bought some, I don't know, like a chest cover, and then he has a cape. And then my littlest one, William, he is Scooby-Doo. And then the girls, they couldn't find their costume, and Amanda just didn't have time to sew one this year, so she ordered it. She had to order it from another country, but it's something called K-pop, and I think it's like really popular because they had something at the dance school or something, and there was pictures, and there was a whole bunch of girls in the same exact costume. The costumes are super cute. So I'm excited to get pictures and do some Halloween scrapbook pages. But I'm really excited to do the 2 front teeth scrapbook page. Okay, so this 7 inches goes all the way around. Ooh, this glue. Ooh, do you guys have plans for Thanksgiving yet? We are having Thanksgiving at our house this year. So all of our kids are coming here. Last year was the first time we ever did a holiday where everybody brought something, and it was really nice. It was such a relaxing day because of that, and yeah, so we're always going to do that now. It made the day just really, really, really relaxed. So that's the plan. Okay, so we're gonna do just a little bit of stamping and a little die cutting. So this one says, all tricks, no tricks, all treats. So we're going to die cut this, and I'm going to die cut some bats. I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to hold my die down. What do you guys use when you stamp and then are cutting it out, like with with like this type of die, how do you hold it down? Or if you're, you know, because sometimes when you put it through the machine, it'll move. What do you guys use to hold yours down? So washi tape used to be really, really popular, and I bought a ton of it. Like, I probably have, I don't even know, 300 rolls. And I don't really use it for anything but this. So I always have a roll next to me in my drawer, and I just use a little bit of it to hold down my die, and it doesn't slip. Okay, so I'm gonna cut those out, and I'm gonna cut out a couple bats. Did anybody make Halloween cards? I made a bunch. The sets for Halloween were so cute. I bought 3 sets this year, like the new sets. And yeah, I had so much fun. I ended up with tons of cards. So I mailed out bunches. Stamps. Oh my gosh, I had to buy stamps. I was out. Oh my gosh, 78 cents a stamp. Crazy. They've gone up so much just in the last few years. So everybody uses Wink Stella, right? What do you guys do when your Wink Stella runs out? Do you throw it away and buy a new one? So I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Can you see how sparkly these are? Yeah. So I ran out. I didn't realize it was that close to the bottom, and it ran out, and I needed to use it. So I unscrewed this, and then I pushed off the little black part that lets the fluid come out, and I just put some alcohol in, and it's like new. I ordered another one, but yeah, I could probably refill this another time even after this, and yeah, it's great. So don't throw it away, because you're wasting all that. When the fluid is gone, all of the glitter stays behind, or the shimmer, or whatever it is in there. And yeah, it just needs a little bit of 91% alcohol to, you know, give it something to soak into, and then you'll have a whole nother one, a whole nother Wink Stella. So don't throw it away when it empties. It's really easy to do, and a bottle of alcohol is like $1. So, all right. So we have some bats, and then I'll use some dimensionals on here. And of course, you know, you can decorate these as much or as little as you please. And that's the box. So for this box, I'm going to put some M&Ms. There we go. Cute little treat boxes for M&Ms. Okay, we have one more treat box. Let's see. Alright, so this one, we need a piece of 5x4 cardstock. So 5x4, and then we're going to score let's see, at a 1/2 inch on each side. And then at the bottom, we're going to score at 1 1/4, and then 1 3/4. And okay, so we're going to cut in on the sides. I don't know if you can see the score line, but here, here, and here. And then with a ruler, so this is going to be the bottom of the box. One moment, sorry. Okay, so we're going to measure down 1 1/2 inches. And just make a little dot here, and then 1 1/2 inches on this side, and just make a tiny little dot. And then I want to cut on an angle from this score line down to that little tick mark on each side. So I'm going to put it in my trimmer, and I'm going to line up the little tick mark and then up to the top where the score line is, and cut that little piece off. And then same here, line up the score line to the little tick mark, and then cut off another little piece. And then we'll cut a piece of designer series paper. Oh, we have the cutter. And this one is going to be 1 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then we'll fold on the score lines. just glue it together. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, hopefully a little bit. And I'm going to glue the bottom down. Just line it up on the edge. Is anybody traveling for Christmas? Can you go visit family? I wish my oldest son lives in Oklahoma. I would really, really love for him and his wife to come visit for Christmas, but they work and don't have the time off. Sad. I haven't seen them. Okay, so then I'm going to bring the sides up and glue those down. I'm going to put those on the inside. I haven't seen them since they came to visit in 2022, so I really miss them. The last time they came to visit, they came from Colorado, and they have since moved for a job to Oklahoma. So I haven't seen them since they've moved. Okay, so I'm just folding that in, and then I haven't spent Christmas with my oldest son. Oh my goodness, it's been a really long time. I think it was like 2015. So we did spend Thanksgiving with them. We went to Colorado and spent Thanksgiving at their house in 2019. And that was really nice. But yeah, especially now they have new jobs. They don't have time off to come visit. So, but my oldest daughter and her husband and 4 kids will be coming, and my youngest son and my youngest daughter. So it'll be fun, and we'll also celebrate my grandson's 8th birthday, which is just a couple days before Thanksgiving. So it'll be fun. And I'm sure we'll Zoom with Julian and his wife. They're there in Oklahoma by themselves. Her family lives in Washington, so they're not close to family on either side. Okay, so here's the little box, and now we can decorate it a little bit. So I'm going to cut a spider web and our creepy little spider, and what else? We'll stamp a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna stamp Trick or Treat. Do you guys make Thanksgiving cards? I have I already finished my Thanksgiving cards. We had such beautiful designer series paper, fall designer series paper. So as soon as I got it, I started those. And then we have really, really beautiful Christmas paper too. So I've made all of my Christmas cards as well. So as far as that goes, I'm ahead of the game. I haven't filled out the envelopes yet, but the cards are done. Okay, so that, and I think I'll do this in white, and then the spider. And I have a whole paper pumpkin kit of Christmas cards that I haven't even started yet. So I'll have lots of Christmas cards this year. So when you get a kit, paper pumpkin or any of the kits that make cards, do you make them how they come from the box? Or do you switch it up and do something different with it? So I always take the card bases and cut them in half because they're always the same in all the kits. The card bases are the same on the front and the back. And so I always cut them in half and use those both for card fronts, and then just use the coordinating cardstock to make the card base. And I like a stiffer card base anyway, so I like it for both reasons. It stretches the designer series paper that the card bases are made from in the kit, and it gives me a stiffer card base. So I automatically get twice as many cards. So if the kit makes 12, I get 24. You know, if it makes 15, I get 30. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of Wink of Stella. This is a really good spider web, and this set comes with either 3 or 4 of the webs, which is great. I should have put it on, I should have put the sticky sheet on the back of the white paper, but oh well, too late now. But that would have been easier. I love Stampin' Dimensionals. I've tried lots and lots of different brands, but I prefer these ones over all the ones I've ever tried. And I like that they come in the 2 sizes as well. Sometimes, you know, it just doesn't fit and you need a little one. So instead of cutting, they have the small. And I like that they come in black and white as well. So if you're working with black paper or dark paper, it's nice to have. Oh, I hope the little doesn't come out. Okay, there we go. Oh, I have trick-or-treaters. Sorry about that. I turned my ringer off, but my Ring doorbell still sends the alarm even if the ringer's off. Okay, just a little bit of glue. Come on. Gosh, I'll be careful if I ever wash my little spout again. I'll be really careful not to get that much water in my glue. Okay, so here's our little treat box. And for these, I ordered Ghirardelli little pumpkin candies. They're so cute. So this one is just milk chocolate, and this one is milk chocolate with caramel filling, and this is milk chocolate with caramel apple filling. So this is our third little treat box. Here's another. So cute, right? And it's easy and fast also. Okay, all right, so now we will move on to the fun fold card. This is a fall card, and it's going to be using this really pretty autumn paper. Okay, so here's our card base, and here's our second piece. So this is 6.5 by 5.5, and then this piece is 4 by 3, and it's scored at 1/2 inch. This one is scored at a 2 1/4. So this one is going to fold like this. So it's going to be this opens and then this opens. So we're going to glue this piece here. I'm just going to do it in the middle. I didn't measure it. I'm just eyeing it. And I apologize, this glue, I should have tested it, I guess. I didn't think that's a little bit of water would thin it this much. Okay, so we'll let that dry, and then we'll make our layers. So this is going to be for the inside. This is on one side. So pretty. I don't know if you can see the gold on here, the gold shimmer, but we're using the opposite side. So it's the inside of our card. So it's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And then this side, the flap is 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to use this paper. Again, this is the same as the other one, just a darker background. I think it's got the basic beige background, and this is the back side. So it's 2 1/4, so I'm going to do 2 1/8. Is it 2 1/4 or 2 1/2? Yes, 2 1/4. So I'm going to do 2 1/8. I think I'm going to use this one first. I think I'm going to do 2 1/4 of this one. By 5 3/8. And then I'll do 5 1/4 by 2. So it'll be like layered like this. And then we have this piece, which is 4 by 2 1/2. So we'll do 3 7/8. Or it's 2 1/2, so I'll do 2 3/8. I'm going to do this one. This is going to go on top of this one, so I have to cut that one back down. So we did 3 7/8 by 2 3/8. 2 2 3. And then I'm just going to cut this one down a little bit. I'll cut this one down 1/8 on each side. Okay, so that's the layer for the flap. Then we're going to stamp. And for this one, we're going to use this stamp. Gosh, I'm glad I didn't buy any more candy than I did. I think we only had maybe 20 kids. Oops, that doesn't look too good. I'm going to try that one again. There we go. this, and then I'm gonna also stamp Blessed to Have You in My Life. And then we have this image to color. So I'm going to use Darling Duckling. Is that what it's called? Yes, Darling Duckling. And one of my favorites, the Pecan Pie. So I'm going to use the light Pecan Pie on the acorn. This one, I use it a lot, and when I got it out today, it was, you can see I'm struggling with it a little bit. It was not dry, but pretty close. So I have a dropper bottle, and I filled it up with 81% isopropyl alcohol, and then I add just a little bit, like a quarter teaspoon. It's a small dropper bottle. It's probably 30 mLs, so it's about that big, and about a quarter teaspoon of oh my goodness, what is it called? The stuff you put to make bubbles. It'll come to me. Anyway, when my markers are needing to have a little more liquid in them, I take tweezers and remove this and then drop some in, and it'll extend. Today I didn't have time because it has to sit a while, so today I just opened the other end and I put a couple droppers, a few drops, like 6 drops, just enough to finish this project. And then later tonight I will open it up and fill it, and then it'll extend the life of this because there's plenty of ink left in here. It just became dry, so the alcohol dried out. And you can also buy the tips. They're not super cheap, but cheaper than buying pens, and you can use those, you know, while you're waiting for a new order of pens to come. And if these come in dark and light, if it's the dark one, you can even add a few drops of ink and then some more alcohol to it, and it's just refilled completely. The light one you can't really do that with because it's the same color, just a different hue. Like this is the dark and the light of the same color, so we don't have ink that's that color, but the dark one, you definitely can refill it. And then I have the bronze pen, and I just wanted a different color to do the branch. If you've never tried alcohol markers, they are amazing. So these are the same type of markers that cartoonists use. I remember being a kid and coloring with, you know, like Crayola markers, and it would leave marker lines. No matter, you know, you do one direction then the other direction, no matter what you did, it left lines. And I would look at cartoons and wonder, like, how do they color it? And it's because that's what they use. They use alcohol markers. And yeah, they're amazing. They don't leave any lines. They come in with two tips. So they come with the brush tip, and then they come with a detailed point on the other end. And I think they come in a set of 2, and I think they're only $9 for the set of 2. And all of them come in a set of 2, a dark and a light. So it's good for, you know, shadowing. And then I have a Daffodil Delight, and I brought that just to do a little bit extra of color, because why not? So let's see, we have to dye. I couldn't find this dye. I was looking and looking and looking for it. I had just used it, and it was stuck to the side of the container that I put all the stuff I needed to make the video. So, do you ever do that? I do it all the time. Like, I just had something in my hand, and then it's gone. And I wouldn't have even gotten up, and it's just gone. And I have found things stuck to the bottom of my cutter. I found things stuck to the bottom of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I found things in the garbage. And some things I've never found. So, yeah, I know I'm not the only one. Isn't that a pretty font? This is a pretty set. Pretty die. This part is like, I don't know why it's like separate like that, but it's pretty. I guess you could do it twice and then put one up above. Maybe that would be pretty. So what are your Thanksgiving plans? Are you staying home? Are you having company? Are you going to someone else's house? Does the host cook the whole meal? Or does everybody bring something? I'm telling you, it was the best Thanksgiving last year. With everybody bringing something, it wasn't like a big chore for anybody. And it just all came together so nice. It was great. So we will always do that now, because yeah, it was more relaxing, and we had more fun, you know, chatting with one another and just spending time together, and yeah, it was really nice. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put it together. So there's this little ledge here, but a piece of designer series paper covers it up really well. So if I can get this glue to not leave a blob. There we go. Ugh. So my daughter is excited to come here this year. She's been hosting at her house the last couple years with her husband's family, and you know, if you make a big dinner, she has a big family, and then it's the rest of his family. And when I said, just bring a dish with you, she was all in. She was super excited to have a little bit of a break. She's a nurse also, and she works at U of M, and she's worked labor and delivery for the past several years now. And before that, she worked a cardiac unit. So she's worked like really high intensity units. And she just transferred. Her season of life is just, she's so busy, with her 4 kids, and they're busy with their church and the kids and all of their activities, and just the homework and just all the things. And it's just it's good for her. So she put in for a transfer, and she transferred to an outpatient clinic. So it's more like that's what they call it, but it's a doctor's office. And she works at 4 different offices. They do OB, they do gerontology, they do pediatrics. So different doctors in different clinics on different days. And so it's just a whole different vibe to work with. So they have medical assistants that see the patients with the doctors, and LPNs, and so she's just like doing like triage. She's answering messages through the portal. Just completely different. She wears street clothes to go to work, and just it's much more relaxed. Like I said, her jobs were really super high intensity, so this will be good for her. Plus, she works 7 to 3 during the week, no weekends, and yeah, this will be good for this season when the rest of her life is so busy. So I'm just going to put our little greeting here. And then this is really pretty too on this side. On this side it's brown with little, I don't know if you could see, they're just little circles. And then on this side it's really pretty, a plaid with gold running through. It's beautiful. The whole pack of paper is really pretty. This is the white. So this has the basic beige background, and this has a basic white background, but it's the same pattern. So pretty. You hate to hide one side of it. And then this, I'm going to put some dimensionals. This is how you know if you have colored it thoroughly. Your markers, your alcohol markers, should go through to the other side. So you can see I said this was low on liquid. You can see it didn't come through as much as the rest, and that's because it was low on fluid. So it was enough to do what I needed to do. But tonight, before I go to bed, I will fill that up and then let it sit overnight, and tomorrow it'll be a whole new marker. So our regular markers, they're on sale in the online store in the last chance. So since Stampin' Up! Started making the alcohol markers, no one's really buying the regular like dye-based markers. So those are on sale if anybody is interested in getting some of those before they run out. And those can be redone as well. You get some really hot water in a pan and you soak them overnight. And if they've dried out, but all that ink is still in there, it's just dry. So here we go. Here's this card. And here's another with a different paper in the front. So that is our fourth project. And our last project is the paper bouquet kit. It's so pretty. So let me move a few things. Which was your favorite little treat box? Or do you not like treat boxes? I love making treat boxes. I make a lot at Christmas time. Put them in stockings and add them to gifts. Okay, so this is the paper bouquet kit, and this is what it looks like. So the only thing that you need to make this that it doesn't come with is a glue gun. So I have mine. I'll heat it up. Otherwise, everything comes with the kit, everything that you need. And this is the instruction book. So I made some samples of this a while back, and I don't know where I put them, but I made some extras. I made the rest. So I have all of them except a few, because I don't know what I did with them. I lost them. They're here someplace. They're for safekeeping somewhere. So each flower comes with a stem. This is a wrapped wire stem. And every flower has a middle that has a bead. So it shows you in this part of the instruction to put the bead on. So do it however it's easiest for you. I just sort of twist it like this. see. So each instruction tells you how many flower petals that you need, and what color the middle is, and what color your bead is, and then you have the bottom of the flower. So after you put your bead on, you just put a little bit of glue and then add this like crepe paper. And then you just go around and around with it. I'm using a hot glue gun that has a high temp, and I'm using Gorilla Glue sticks for hot temp, and I like it a lot. I haven't bought, and since I tried this one, I've never used any other glue. I've never had this one let loose on anything, so I've had good luck with it. So this is a large flower, so it has this long middle. Some of the smaller flowers, you'll see as we go, has a shorter inside. So these come in sheets, all the pieces, and you just tear them apart. And then you sort them according to the directions. And then that's it. Then you just do what I'm doing. You use hot glue, and once you've built one, then it's the same over and over again, just with different pieces. And you can use a pencil to like curl your petals, or you could use like a bone folder, like a flat edge, and use that to curl them. Give them a little bit of dimension. I made a kit of these flowers years ago. It was, I don't know, probably 8 years ago, maybe. Stampin' Up had another kit. It was very similar to this. The flowers were different, and it was different colors. They had different middles. Every flower had a different middle. These ones have like the same, just different colors. And I had bought the kit and never made them, and they sat around for a while. So maybe it came out in like maybe 2013, 14, something like that. And then I thought, okay, I want to get this, off my shelf. So I made it, and they're so pretty. I bought a bunch of like the little, they're not beads, they're like little, they look like ice, and they're made out of like acrylic, and I filled the vase with that to hold the flowers up, and they've been in that pretty vase in my office for years. I use like canned air to dust them, and yeah, they've been very pretty in my office for all these years. Alright, so then you put this in. So I have it ready to go down. So now I'm gonna just put a little dab of glue on the bottom of that and then put it down. So like this. This just happens to be the straight edge that I have near me, so anything works fine. Bone folder, this little ruler works good. I think in the directions it shows them using a pencil to curl the leaves up on. And then after the flower's done, you can adjust it even more if you want to, or if it's too much, you can, you know, flatten it back out as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glue and then bring this one down. I'm going to offset the petals. Like that. And then this is the bottom. This is like the part that would make the flower bud before it blooms. So that goes the other direction. That, and then I'll just put a teeny bit more glue. So here we go. Okay. Now we'll move on. So the insides of these, it should be black, but my dart beads are blue. I don't know why. The paper's black, so I think it should have been black, but it shows black in the directions. But it doesn't matter. You don't really see it once it's in there. Okay, there we go. Now I'll do the orange, and this has a long black center and 3 petals, and then the large bottom. Did you all see the kit that I did last week, the haunted house? They're so cute. I have them. I wanted to put them on my mantle, but it blocked the TV. So, because they're pretty big. So they're on my piano. And I have 2 like Halloween trees with pumpkins hanging on them. Also on the piano. And then I put some fairy lights underneath the houses, so they're lit up. They're super cute, and they are still available. So Mary told me that she was going to get one, and she's going to make hers a Christmas house, so that will be fun to see. especially be fun to see what Mary comes up with, because she makes gingerbread houses every year for the last, oh my goodness, I don't know how long, like 40 years or nearly, like a long time. She's an expert gingerbread house maker. It's a tradition in her family. So I'm sure whatever she comes up with for a Christmas house will be amazing. It would be easy to do. So it has, you just wouldn't use the bats, and the couple little embellishments that it has could easily be swapped out for some Christmas embellishments. And maybe a different color of shutter. You could just take the shutters that it comes with and trace them on a different color of paper. It would be really cute. But if you didn't get one, I don't know if we'll have them next year, but they're so adorable. Definitely worth buying and holding on if you want to make them a haunted house for next year. Definitely worth holding on to, because they're adorable and a really good value too. We have some kits right now in the kit collection that I think are only $14. So, and it comes with everything that you need. Some of them you might need like a pair of scissors, or if you didn't want to use the adhesive that it comes with, and you have, you know, a favorite adhesive, if you use seal adhesive, or I like liquid glue, you know, you might have your own personal preference, but it does come with everything. I really love the colors of this bouquet of flowers as well. The other one that I have is all colors we don't have anymore, but it's a light, really light peach and a really, really light blue, and like a light, like a watermelon, like a light watermelon color. It's pretty too, but I like these colors better. Oh, this one has 4. I think it's only supposed to have 2, so this is enough for 2 flowers. So what date do you put up your Christmas decorations? Do you do it before Thanksgiving? Or do you do it after Thanksgiving? Or do you wait until December? I used to put my tree up and like the day or 2 before Thanksgiving, but not decorate it. So the tree would be up and fluffed, and you never had a real tree. My husband's allergic. And it would have the lights on it, but I didn't light it before Thanksgiving, and it wasn't decorated. And then this was when the kids were growing up. And then after dinner on Thanksgiving, we would decorate the tree. And then in the next week after Thanksgiving, I would take down all of the fall decorations and then put up the Christmas decorations. So usually an early decorator. see.
Still doing you?
Yes, I'm still live.
Oops, just...
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's this one. I like this one. It's pretty. And we have another one that's large. Yellow. Oh, my husband just opened the door to my craft room, and the smell of dinner came rushing in. He made corned beef for dinner. It's gonna be a late dinner today. I'm always happy to see October come to an end. It is an emotional month for me because of all of the breast cancer, everything that you see, every place you look. It's an important month to educate, but also an emotional month for me. I think about a lot of friends that I've lost in the past 15 years, and yeah, it never gets easier. For the last many years, since 2012 until till October of 2019, I hosted a scrapbooking event every year, and it became really popular, so I did it twice a year for most of those years. It was called IBC Crop for a Cause, and all the money that was raised was sent to the IBC Network Foundation. It's a grassroots foundation that funds research for inflammatory breast cancer. So the woman who runs it, her name's Terry Arnold, and she met another patient while they were in treatment, and that patient was a doctor, and they were talking about how important it is to have funding for research, because no research has been done on this, and no government funding is given. So it's sort of an orphaned disease, and it's something that most people have never heard of, inflammatory breast cancer. When I was diagnosed with it in March of 2010, I had never heard of it. And at that point, I had been a registered nurse for 20 years, and I had never heard of it. And my doctors had never heard of it, and the ones that had heard of it had never seen it. And none of them were alarmed at the symptoms that I had. They were, like sending me here and sending me there, and not really, thinking a lot about it. And here it ended up being something really serious. And so my first symptom was around the 15th of December, and my diagnosis came on the 15th of March, so 3 months later. And I had, so from the first symptom, which was swelling, till diagnosis, 3 months, and I was stage 3B when I was diagnosed. And it's always at least a stage 3 when it's diagnosed. It can't be diagnosed any earlier than that because it doesn't show up on mammograms. So there is no early warning. And a cure for inflammatory breast cancer would be a cure for breast cancer. So it's really, really important. So Terry Arnold met this other patient who was a physician, and they talked about how important it is to have funding, and they were talking about, like, what could we do, and they kept talking, and they decided to start this foundation. And sadly, before they started raising money, Terry's partner passed away from inflammatory breast cancer, which most people do. So it's a miracle, you know. Anybody who lives and lives longer than 18 months. They told me at my first appointment that I had a 35% chance to live 18 months, and that after the 18 months there were no statistics. So it was sort of, you know, get your affairs in order, because it's not going to be good. So I learned, you know, as much as I could, as quickly as I could, and I so badly wanted to meet other women who had it. I wanted to find somebody who was still alive. So I searched to find people, and I found somebody who I went to school with, who was in my graduating class, was currently in treatment. And then I found one girl who was one city over from where I lived. So, and she was just less than 5 miles. And then I found a young girl. So I was 42, but this girl was only in her 30s. And she just had her first baby. And her baby was only like a year old. She was diagnosed while she was in the hospital giving birth. And then I found one other woman, and she was the only one older than me. The girl who was 5 miles away in the next town over, she was also in her 30s, in her maybe later, a little bit later 30s. And then I found one woman who was the one who was my age, who I graduated with, and then one who was 52. And 12 months later, all of them had passed away. I was the only one left, and I had terrible survivor's guilt. And after I finished treatment, I was in treatment for a year and 3 months, and I thought I have to do something, you know. I didn't know what, but I knew, like, once I get healed and I feel better, I have to do something to honor these women. And it wasn't just those women, but I found an online group, and that Terry Arnold also ran online, and I would get to know these women online, and they all died too. So I had to eventually leave that group because it was just too much. So once I felt well enough that in 2012 I started the Crop for a Cause, and we did it up until 2019, and then after that, then it was the pandemic. So I've had changes in my health since then, and so my friend Mary has taken over hosting the crop. There wasn't one this year, but hopefully in the future there will be. But October is hard, just thinking about all those ladies who weren't as fortunate as me, and young beautiful women. Sad. So inflammatory breast cancer is different. So people think it's important to have a mammogram, which it is, because the other forms of breast cancer you can see on a mammogram, but inflammatory breast cancer is different. It doesn't show in a mammogram, and there is no lump. So I had so this is the smaller petals, so it's a shorter inside also. So I woke up one day and my left breast was swelled, like significantly swelled. And then as days went on, it also had like sort of it was a little bit like reddened, and then it eventually became like just ever so slightly warm to the touch. And then it looked to me like it swelled so much that the pores were stretched. That's how I explained it. Like it looked like it was like the skin stretched so far that it opened up the pores. That is something called orange peel skin, and that's one of the symptoms. So you can also get like a shooting pain that it comes and it goes really fast, so it's like a flash of pain that quickly goes away. So inflammation, redness. Some people don't get the swelling. I had extreme swelling, so everybody's is just a little bit different. Some people have more redness. Some people don't have the orange peel, but all those symptoms are really important, and it's an extremely aggressive and extremely fast moving cancer. So it's not a cancer where the oncologist will make you an appointment for next month. They will get you in the same week. They'll get you in right away. So I was diagnosed on the 15th of March, and by April 1st, I already had a port and was already started chemo. So I had chemotherapy for 20 weeks, and then I was off the chemo for just over a week, and then had a double mastectomy. And then after the mastectomy, I had a lot of fluid, so usually that doesn't usually happen, but it was just odd in my case. But as soon as the drains come out and the fluid has dried up, then you start radiation. And I had radiation daily, Monday through Friday, for 35 treatments. And then depending if your particular cancer is, they test you at the beginning. So I had what they called HER2/neu, which is like weed killer, like it's, there's medication that's like the weed killer. It's like a weed. So if you have that, it makes the cancer grow much faster even than it already is a fast-growing cancer. And there's a medication called Herceptin that's like the weed killer. So that was something that I started in the summer, and it was a 12-month treatment, but it's also toxic to the heart. So there was, at one point, I had to miss a treatment because my mucus gang came back, my ejection fraction was lowered, and then it came back up, and I was back on it, and that happened twice. But I didn't want to stop it because it's the weed killer. So that treatment, and if yours is receptive to like estrogen or progesterone, there's a different treatment. Mine wasn't. So yeah, that's why it started in the summer and then it ended in the summer, because the Herceptin was a full year. So it's important to know those symptoms and tell every woman you know about those symptoms, because everybody is always concerned about feeling for a lump. But this type of very, very aggressive breast cancer does not have a lump. So redness, swelling, the orange peel skin, and there can be pain also. And sometimes some women have been diagnosed as having mastitis and inflammation of the breast, but that usually only happens if you're like currently breastfeeding. So it doesn't even make sense that they would give a non-lactating woman that diagnosis. But like I said, a lot of doctors don't even know what it is. So if you have symptoms, or somebody you know has symptoms, don't let it go. Don't let the doctor dismiss you. Fight for more answers, because it's not a diagnosis that can wait. The difference between a stage 3 and stage 4 can be a matter of days, and you don't have the luxury of time with IBC. And if you want to know more about it, I would be happy. Just let me know. And you can also visit the ibcnetwork.org, and that is Terry Arnold's website. You can also go there to donate. Even $1 helps. Every dollar matters. And what's amazing about the IBC network compared to other large breast cancer organizations is they don't pay salaries. So some of the very large, very visible organizations that you might see, walkers and tents and all sorts of fancy things, they pay 6-figure incomes to lots and lots and lots of people. The IBC network does not pay. This one's adorable. The IBC network doesn't pay any salaries. All of their money, they have a small amount that is just operating costs, like for stamps and like office supplies. So I think the last time I talked to Terry, it's 89 cents of every dollar goes directly to research. Okay, so this is the white one. So let's see. Here's the white. So it's a yellow inside and 3 white. So we need a yellow bead. And Terry works tirelessly. You can see her on Facebook, and you can see her on her webpage, and it's amazing everything she does. She has dedicated her entire life to this. She's an amazing lady. She's got, I don't know how many kids, 8, I think. She has 8 kids. They're grown now, and she's got now, because she has so many kids, she's got a ton of grandkids, and she's very active in all of their lives, and she and her husband are amazing. Yeah, the IBC Crop Fair cause, it was really a popular event. We held it at a local scrapbook store, and it was always sold out. We had 3 meals and goodie bags to greet everybody, and we had like games, and we had a really large raffle table. I always did a Stampin' Up make and take, and yes, so we sold raffle tickets. We sold 50/50 tickets, and over the years that we did it, I raised over $50,000 for the IBC network. So now the local store, during the pandemic, they moved to a much smaller location, so their crop room is much smaller. So it holds a lot less people. When we first started, it held nearly 100 people, and now it's something like, I don't know, between 25 and 30, I think. But when Mary hosted it last year, it was still successful, and still raised a good amount of funds. So hopefully next year we will have another one. I think I'm going to buy a new Christmas tree this year. I've been collecting the blown glass Polish ornaments. I've been collecting them for several years, and I have quite a lot now. And you can't really, it's hard to hang those on like a regular tree because they're big, and there's not really space to let them hang all the way down or even wide. They kind of just hang haphazardly, and then I'm always afraid that somebody might walk past and knock one off because they're super delicate, because they're blown glass. They're just super thin, and they're so pretty and sparkly. So I've been looking at a wrought iron tree. It's not lit, they don't have lights, and they have, I think, like 150 spots to hang, but because it's just wrought iron, you see every bit of the ornament. And they come in like gold wrought iron, and they come in black. And I've been looking, and I can't really decide which I would prefer. And then I've been thinking, like, you know, how do I make sure it doesn't fall over? It's pretty heavy, but so I was thinking if I put it on a piece of plywood and have holes drilled, and then I could put like a heavy-duty zip tie up through the wood and then zip tie it around the leg, so like there's no way it could tip over. So I sent a picture. My mother is really excellent at decorating. Her home is beautiful, and she's really good at it. So I sent her a picture of the gold one and the black one to ask her opinion, like which one does she think is better. And she said, "Ooh, I hate these. Why would you buy that?" So I told her, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know. I guess if you're gonna buy it, I guess the black one would show off the ornaments." I don't know. I think it's pretty. It's not traditional for sure. So I think I would get like a spotlight and put it under the tree and face it up, so the ornaments sparkle, you know, from under. But yeah, she wasn't shy about telling me how much she hated it. So even if I get it and I don't love it, it's just one Christmas, right? So, but I love the ornaments, so I think, you know, to be able to see all of them, I'll probably still put up a green tree too, maybe just not as many ornaments on it, maybe. I think the wrought iron tree is kind of cool. And I think once all those really beautiful ornaments are on it, I think it would be pretty. What do you think? My sister bought me a really pretty pink tinsel tree. It was small, maybe 4 feet tall, and I had some of the Polish ornaments. That was before my collection got too big, so it was pretty on that tree because it was pink and sparkly, and the ornaments are like so many different colors and they're sparkly. And my husband knocked it over and a bunch of them broke, so I haven't been putting any up. So I would really, really like to have a tree where I can see all of them. My grandma had one many years ago. It was a feather tree, and it had, I don't know, it was like tinsely, but the branches were really, they were far apart, and they were really stiff, so you could really see all the ornaments that were hung on it. If I could find one like that, I would buy that, but I haven't found anything like that. That's the little daisy. It comes with a lot of these little white ones. Okay, and then this one I think is cloud cover. It's like a light gray. I'm sorry I'm not able to see if anybody is talking to me. I don't know why it's not coming up on my phone. But if you're here, I hope you said something. I will definitely reply afterward. And if you watch on the replay, also please help me out by leaving a comment. It helps the algorithm. Oops. I was going to put the petals on, didn't even put the middle in. This one has a short middle as well because it has the smaller petals. Wouldn't it be fun if we had trick-or-treating for dogs as well? Oh my gosh, dogs would love that. You took them to 2 houses and they got a treat, they would definitely catch on and be ready to go to the next house. They would totally get it. It would be so fun if there was a way to like signal from the outside, like that you know, have treats for furry trick-or-treaters, and we could dress the little dogs up and take them trick-or-treating. It'd be so cute. I don't know why it's never been a thing. My little grandpuppy will love that. They live in an apartment, and there's a neighbor that they've gotten to know, and he doesn't have any pets, but he loves dogs. So if he's outside, he sees dogs walk by, they always stop and he gives them pets. And he leaves out treats every morning because a lot of the dog walkers, walk in the morning before work. And my grandpuppy goes immediately to his place. It's like down the street and around the corner. That's her first stop. She's nose to the ground right to his house. That's her first stop because she knows there's a treat waiting there for her. So cute. And he leaves out a whole bunch every morning for all the little dogs that stop by. He's thinking about moving, but he likes it. He likes it where he's at because his dog has made so many little friends there. There's another dog. It's an older lady. It's a cute small dog, and she lives on the first floor, so her patio is kind of right off the sidewalk. And like my son lives upstairs, so his is a balcony. But she has a little dog, and she puts her dog on a leash and will let her sit on the patio. And a dog that doesn't even live there, a dog got out of the yard in like a neighboring subdivision house and came there and attacked that little dog and chewed her leg off. So sad. But she lived, and she's a happy little girl even with one leg now. And my little grand puppy loves to go there and visit his little one-leg friend. And they go walking together to the grandpa that gives the treats. So he is thinking about moving. When he moved there, he had a lot of work in that area, but it's far, South Rockwood. It's kind of far, and he doesn't work in that area anymore, so it's not really close to any of his jobs anymore. This is pretty. Okay, so this is the last one. We've done one of each. Here's the ones I made tonight. And then, minus the couple that I can't find that I made earlier, a couple months back. Here's the bouquet. So I have one more in my box that's another orange one. And let's see. So it's a pretty decent size. I think I have in my the ones I can't find, I think there's 4 in that pile, plus all of these. So it's a pretty decent size bouquet, plus all these pieces of greenery. Yeah, and these are all the colors. Yeah, it's because of the position of the camera, it's hard to show you all of it at one time, but yeah, they're pretty. What do you think? Pretty. So I'm going to replace the ones I have in the vase, or maybe I'll add to it. And then once I do that, I will Oh, there was one more over here. Yeah, let's see how many there are. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 32, 34, 35. So I think it's 36 stems is the total. So yeah, it's a nice big bouquet. What do you think about it? So thank you for spending time with me tonight. I hope I have some comments to go read, and have a great weekend, and I will see you again next Friday. Bye.